Good morning, guys. Mike here, live to you from the state of Georgia. Today, I am running a couple of errands, so I thought I'll make a quick video. Well, I don't know how long this video is going to be, but we're going to get ahead and jump into it. So, questions that I've gotten a couple of times is, what do you do for a living? And I promised way back that I would do a video on this, and I apologize that I haven't gotten to it, but I'm doing one today. So for those of you who have been asking what I do for a living, what I do, I'm a web developer, okay? So, and I've been doing that for, 15 years or so. But I would also like to think that, I do more than that. Initially, when I started as a web developer, this was like way back in high school. I used to develop websites. Basically, I build websites for clients and charge a fee, whatever have you. And that was sort of the time where, businesses or small businesses were trying to get online. So it was a great time. The only problem was it wasn't as much money. So what I've been doing, honestly, for the last maybe 8 to 10 years is more like online marketing. And that's what I'm still doing now, technically. So that is what I do for a living in a nutshell. There's not much to it. To get more in detail, this video will probably be like an hour long. But yeah, what I do is develop websites, and I do a lot of online marketing stuff, because that's really where the dinero is. When you can market products online, you can sell things on and off. So that's what I do for a living. But instead of talking about me, because I think it's boring anyway to tell you more of what I do, why don't I tell you how you can make money online? I'm not selling you anything, I promise, but I just wanted to share some of my experience and what I've been able to do in the last couple of years. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna title this video when it comes out. I thought about making a title of how to make $1 million in 1 year, but maybe that would sound like a clickbait. But I will talk about how you can make $1 million in 1 year if you're up to it, okay? At least I'll tell you how I did it. So, I think the first time I ever made a 7-figure income was back when I was 25 years old. That was a few years ago. And for any entrepreneur that's been either offline, running their own gig offline or online, that's something you've always wanted to accomplish. So, and I remember when it happened to me, I was like, wow, woohoo, I made $1 million. The only problem was, by the time I was 26, I lost that $1 million. So, good story here that's coming. And I'm actually going to make I'll probably make a part 2 of this video, how to lose $1 million in 1 year. I think that's going to be a much more interesting story. But anyway, let me tell you how I made $1 million and how you can too. So, what I did, or what I do, basically, it's what's called arbitraging. So, an arbitrage is basically when it's just like buying and selling goods. If you own a store, offline or online, it's the same concept, where you buy something for a lower price and then you sell it for a higher price. That's what arbitraging is, for the most part. And except this, in the concept or context of what I'm talking about, arbitraging has to do with ad dollars. So basically placing advertisement on your website or whatnot. I hope you guys can still hear me, because I am on the parkway now, and I'm sure it's going to be a little louder. But anyway, I'll try to drive as slow as possible. So yeah, so back to what I was talking about. In online marketing, what arbitraging is let me try to paint it in the simplest way. So for example, what you do is build you a website, either a blog or whatever, find a good trending or popular topic or category, say for example, tech. It could be tech, it could be fashion, It could be celebrity gossip, whatever it is that you think people are going to spend their time reading or whatnot. So do that, build your website, put some good content on it, and then you find good ways to monetize that content by placing advertisement, mainly banner ads around that content. Okay, so what you do is once you've built your site, you've put the right content on there, then you go to an ad network that sells traffic, for example, and assuming you're able to, now two terms, again, I wish I can do this and do like number one, number two. So I'm probably going to be a little all over the place. So if you're really serious about this, you can probably grab a notebook and a pen and write some things down. So like I said, the first thing, get you a website, put some content on it depending on whatever content you're excited about or that you think is going to sell, and then put proper ads around that content to be able to monetize it. Okay, so once you've done that, then you want to go to an ad network where you can get good, legitimate quality traffic. Okay, so now assuming you're able to, for your ad dollars, now here are two terms you need to familiarize yourself with: CPC and CPM. CPC is cost per click, and CPM is cost per impression. And those are the two main. Well, there are other type of ways to monetize ads or monetize content, but the two most common terms, at least that I'm familiar with, is CPM and CPC. So assuming that you're able to get from an advertiser, someone who's advertising on your site, you're able to get them to pay you say $2 per CPM. And per CPM is basically cost per 1,000 impression. So what that means is for every 1,000 views that one ad, assuming say like a rectangle banner ad, the same ones you see right next to this video, if you're watching say on your laptop, you probably see a banner ad right next to this video, is the same thing. So you get $2 per 1,000 impression, meaning for every 1,000 views, to that particular ad, the advertiser pays you $2, okay? Now, what you want to do is go find a traffic or ad network where you can buy that traffic. So, assuming, and also you also want to create your website in a way where you can get multiple page views per user, because it's going to be very difficult to monetize content or a page by just having one page view. So, for example, say you're able to build a content and a website where each average user that comes on the website, they view your ads. They view the pages on your site. They view up to say 5-6 pages at a time. So meaning if I go on your website, I'm gonna go to about 6 and browse about 6 pages. That's a good thing. The more pages that you're able to get from a user, the better. Okay, in some cases, that's not always the truth. But in most cases, if you can basically milk one user to view as many pages as possible, then you can meet the obligation of having however many CPM or 1,000 impression. So anyway, so back to going to ad network to get your traffic. Now, you already know you're going to get $2 for 1,000 impression for this ad. Now, what you want to do is when you go find quality traffic, you want to make sure that you're buying it for much less. And by much less, again, the lower you can get it, the better. So assuming that you're able, and my key advice is always try to find traffic where you're paying at least 30% less, because you need that spread to be able to take your profit out. So if you're getting paid $2 per CPM, 30% less of that would probably be 10% is 26. So you're looking, if you can get that traffic for between $1 and $1.40, you're in business. Okay? So if you have room for at least 30%, you'll be able to make some profit off of it. Now, the more room you have, obviously, the better. So say you're able to get the traffic you need for less than $1. That means you have a lot more spread to make a profit on your traffic. Now, this does come with risk. The main risk there is that Google is the main player in the advertising space, and except you're your own small ad network, you're going to be dependent on Google a lot. And by a lot, I mean up to 80-90% of your ad inventory will be served through Google, and that means that you're going to be vulnerable to whatever they do. Okay, and that's the most risky thing. And I face that, where if Google change their ad policy at some point, or they created a new rule, that affects you, and that could screw things up for you. So that's the main risk there. And you can also, I've heard some horror stories of people who did the same thing, and Google did not pay them. So if Google deem your ads or your traffic as bad, or their advertiser is not happy with what you provided them, they can hold on to your money. They can say, well, you didn't provide us with the right traffic, or the right users, or the right conversion, and they can hold on to your money. I've heard horror stories of companies who lost $6 million, $2 million dollars to Google because they could not get paid. And the crazy part is, you've already spent the money to get the traffic on your website. Imagine you went out and spent $1 million to purchase traffic, and then you're expecting to make $5 million back, and Google decided not to pay you. Now that's the kind of trouble that nobody wants to be in. But I'm glad that I never got into that kind of issues on my end, but it can happen. But so that's the main risk about it. But that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Now, it will be unfair for me not to give you some ways to start. Some ad networks you can take a look at. There's Taboola, Rev Content, and I'll put the links down below. These are ad networks where you can both purchase traffic, and you can also have content ads from them. So they can be both your creditor and your advertiser. At least that was the case for me. Although when I used to do this, although those guys are going to probably make up less than 20%, maybe 20 or 15% of your total inventory, but it's still something. Now, for you to be able to scale all the way to $1 million, you're going to need somebody to give you a line of credit. Either you're able to do it through credit cards, which again comes with its own risk, or you're able to get one of these ad platforms to finance your business. So in my case, I was able to get a line of credit from Taboola, from Rev Content, and also when Gravity, which used to be owned by AOL, I don't know if it's still owned, but they shut it down at some point, and Gravity also gave me a line of credit. All in all, I had a little over $500,000 from 3 networks who extended a line of credit for me. So, and this is this is probably going to be a long shot if you decided to do this now, because I don't know how the rules are now. I'm sure things have changed over the years, but that's how you're going to be able to scale on your own. Except you have a lot of cash sitting down, you probably won't be able to scale as high. But if you can get a line of credit from one of these guys, all you got to do is take that formula that I gave you and just scale it. Put some money to it, add some money to it, scale it, scale it, scale it. Again, the higher you scale, the more risk. It's the more money, the more risk. And that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, I just wanted to share how you can make some money doing your own thing based on my experience. My next video, I'm gonna make a part 2 of this, of how I lost $1 million in a year. True story. Very funny and interesting, but true story. And I hope you guys can learn a thing or two from these videos that I'm making. But until then, I gotta run to DMV now. I'm gonna be uploading this video probably over the weekend, but I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for watching, and hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.